Hey everyone, I wanted to do this video as over the last maybe 6 months or starting in late 2020 I've had more people reach out to me from across Canada actually about um, me offering Postural Restoration Institute services, so PRI services. So I thought I would just do this little quick video about why I chose PRI and just a little bit about my PRI journey. So it's probably not that exciting, but hopefully you might find some benefit out of this. So I took my first PRI course back in 2014, in September of 2014 out in Montreal, and it was pelvis restoration. So I took that from Lori Thompson, and she was a wonderful instructor. I've actually since taken a second time with her, pelvis restoration with her, and she's wonderful to learn from. But why I went towards PRI is I was searching for ways to assess my clients a little bit more proficiently, and I was searching for methods that were non-manual techniques. So being a kinesiologist, I can't use manual techniques, so I can't manually adjust people or massage people unless I get specific designation for that. So I wanted to find something that was non-manual, and so I came across PRI. I was reading about it through one of the blogs I was reading at the time. They kept mentioning it, so I went on their website and looked up some of their articles and started reading about it and kind of thought, you know what, this might be what I want to do or what I want to pursue as far as extra education goes. So I chose to go to Montreal for that first course, and it is a whopper of a course. So it's tons of information, and it was just exciting to learn what they had to teach. But what was more exciting was to come back and start to apply the assessments and the corrections, most importantly, to my clients and see them start to work. It was encouraging to be able to get to the bottom of a few more inconsistencies or issues that people were having, but again, more importantly, to find a solution for that. So over the next couple of years, I did the next two primary courses, the myokinematic restoration, and then I finished with postural respiration. And throughout taking those, I kind of thought, you know what, I think I want to get credentialed by PRI. So I, over the next couple of years did those two courses, and then did my first secondary course, which was impingement and instability. And after taking that, I was, convinced, yep, this is the path that I want to go down. But again, more importantly, was assessing clients and being able to correct a lot of the imbalances that I was finding. So, clients that I currently had, and then new clients, as I started to get better at the PRI assessments, started to peel back the layers a little bit more, and just got a little more comfortable with applying the non-manual techniques to try and correct that. So in 2017, I applied to get the Postural Restoration Trained credential, and so the Institute accepted my application, so I got to go down to Lincoln, Nebraska, and then I had to complete that whole process once I got down there, and it was exceptional. One of the reasons that made it exceptional was I was able to meet and learn directly from Ron Hruska, who's the founder of the Institute. He is such a humble and intelligent man. He was so perceptive. We gave a little 10-minute spiel for our PRI experience, and from that, he was able to pick out parts of my personality and parts of how I train my clients or whatnot. He was able to pick that out and write something about us by the end, which was exceptional from this short little time that we had got to spend together. So that's the quick version. I've since done the introductory courses a couple of times, being a lab assistant for a couple of the courses, which is always a blast, and just learning more each and every time, and redoing a couple of the secondary courses, and most recently doing the cervical revolution course, which is something that I had looked at taking for a long time. And so yeah, still am taking those courses, and still am finding that going back to the primary course material through those three primary courses, so pelvis restoration, kinematic restoration, and postural respiration, still just going through those basic techniques is fundamental and foundational, and just changes over time. It deeper levels of understanding with each new client, and every time that I apply some of the non-manual techniques, just get a little bit more understanding of how to use that technique, how to cue it a little bit better. So it's just it's been exceptional. There aren't too many letters after my name that I am particularly proud of, but the PRT after my name is one of the designations that I'm very much proud to display. And part of getting credentialed wasn't necessarily to my motivation was because I believed in the science that PRI provides, and again, because it was effective for my clients, for the assess and the non-manual techniques. I just found that it was effective, and really that's what I want for my clients, is for them to be able to therapize themselves. I want them to have the power to correct imbalances or tightnesses or aches and pains that they might have, rather than them needing me to take care of that. And so that was really the main reason. A second reason was just being part of the PRI family, or the PRI nation, because from the vast majority of instructors, most of them have just been so genuine, and so treat it such like a family, despite being thousands of kilometers apart. And they're all in the United States. So my opportunities to come across them in person are very few and far between, but they have just been exceptional, and I really do hope that I get the chance to go learn from Ron, in particular, face to face again, just because it's such a great experience, and it is kind of a chance of a lifetime. One of the last reasons that I did choose to get credentialed was I was actually going to be the first Canadian. So out of all healthcare practitioners in 2017, I was the first one to get either of the PRI credentials. So Postural Restoration Certified are the clinicians, so the physiotherapists and the chiropractors that would get the designation. And then the Postural Restoration Trained is more for the trainers, for the athletic trainers, the strength coaches. So yeah, out of those, I was the first one, and I just recently found out that there was another Canadian that joined me in being credentialed out of Vancouver. So I'm really excited to see that someone else has found the value in PRI and decided to get credentialed by them. So I have to say that along the way, some of my influences, and someone who probably doesn't even know who I am really, but who helped me through, was Neal Rampe. So when I was first looking at the application, I sort of scrolled through the list of names, the list of providers, and came across his name. And he was working for the Arizona Diamondbacks at the time, and now is working for the LA Dodgers. And he was just so he had no reason to accept my my request for help, or my questions for help. He could have just sloughed me off and said that he didn't have time for it, but he responded to my emails, and we texted a bit back and forth, and he was just so helpful. Um, and again, he didn't have to be. So that's again the quality of some of the people who are part of the PRI family. And so he really helped me out, and along that way, just to know what to do for the credentialing process. And then one other person who's really helped me recently, and again, he has no idea who I am, and I don't expect him to know who I am, is David Gray. So he's an Irish physiotherapist, and I just find him so creative, and he helps me to think about, just about these principles that we take in PRI and apply them in such creative ways. So I'm not a very creative person, so I take his inspiration and use it for sure. And so he's one that again I follow and just listen to, and he's been tremendously helpful, as there are many out there who are way more creative than I am and come up with such unique ways to apply the PRI principles. One of the last people that I want to mention is Neal Hallinan. So again, he's if you come across PRI on YouTube, there's a strong chance that you're going to come across Neal's videos, and he just does such a fantastic job explaining the basics of position and what we want to do as far as position and pattern goes when it comes to PRI and correction. So those people, again, they don't know who I am, which is fine. I don't expect them to know who I am, but if they happen to come across this, you guys have tremendously helped me to along my PRI way, and I look forward to the future and going forward with that. So coming to that, it's like, where am I going with this? I tend to sort of have two ends of the spectrum where I do help people in a rehabilitative sense. So most of them have been in car accidents, but some of them just have chronic injuries, chronic issues that have come up over the years. And so we work a little bit more clinically in that sense, where we're really just doing PRI exercises and assessing and correcting for those imbalances that have happened. But the other end of the spectrum is the athlete side. I come from a volleyball background, very atypically Canadian, but I tend to relate a lot of what I'm learning from this base sense of PRI and posture, but how do I extrapolate this forward athletically? So how are my volleyball players going to use this? How can we correct some imbalances, but also how are we going to generate more power? How are we going to generate more torque, more rotation, so that we can, reduce the strain on backs and shoulders and knees? So for sure there is the rehabilitative side of those things, but there's the preventative side of those things, but then there's the performance side of those things as well. So there's a bit of a spectrum, and have seen clients sort of across that spectrum, and very much enjoy every single one of them. I enjoy the assessment process very much because it's so interesting to see how people are positioned, how they move, and I kind of love seeing their reactions as well to the tests and what position they're in, and then doing a non-manual technique and retesting, and then them seeing the changes that can be made with positional change, and then the big kicker is respiration. So I know that breathing is gaining more and more importance in the athlete realm, of course, as it should be, but also how breathing is necessary for top performance, especially for injury reduction and rehabilitation, learning how to breathe and how to breathe properly. But not only that, learning how to get into positions where our body might not be well positioned. So again, it comes down to that power of non-manual technique that I have appreciated so much over the years. One of the instructors is a chiropractor, and he said that he doesn't use manual techniques until it's absolutely necessary. So for me, that's huge when a chiropractor who has all the power and capability to adjust people manually says that he would rather use non-manual techniques first to try and readjust people, and then if they need a manual adjustment, he'll use it to persuade them along the way. It's such a big, such a big notice to me towards where the power of this, PRI is, and where we want to go with it. So, as I look forward to the future, I just look forward to learning more. Again, continually going back to the information that's already been provided to me through these courses, and then, slowly but surely taking new courses. For the PRI Institute themselves, being able to take this stuff online has been amazingly helpful, especially for me, since it's just me in my company, and I'm in Kelowna, BC, which is a pretty small town, so me flying anywhere is rather expensive. So being able to take these courses online has been tremendously helpful, especially the secondary courses. So I look forward to the opportunity to take those again, but again, I do look forward to the opportunity to take the courses in person and learn again from those instructors who are just so valuable. So if anybody is considering PRI out there, I would highly suggest going to their website and checking out their articles, checking out their science about PRI, or just contacting one of us, right? Get in touch with us and ask questions about, hey, what's this about? Because it really is, of course, in my belief, it's the biggest tool that a therapist or a trainer can have in their toolbox. It's that powerful, and I'm very happy and proud to be part of the PRI Nation, and I do look forward to more health practitioners getting on the PRI wagon, and because there are times when I need help. I need help with vision therapy. I need help with dental work, and I would really love professionals who come across PRI in those disciplines and can learn about the science and the power of position and respiration in regards to those two therapies, so that when I come across somebody who I'm not really equipped to deal with at that point, I can refer them to somebody who speaks the same language and thinks the same way, so that we can do what's best for the client and have them improve in whatever their situation is, whatever their position is. So I look forward to the future. I look forward to learning from people who have been doing this a lot longer than I have. I always learn more from every client that comes around the corner, and I just hope that I can just get better at assessing and prescribing non-manual techniques, learning more, and really trying to help people as best I can. It's been, like I said, it's only been 4 years since I got my PRT. It's been 7 years since I took my first course. And it still feels like I'm just scraping the surface of what can be learned. If you guys ever have any questions about this stuff, by all means, please reach out. I'd love to connect with you and talk about PRI, because I've fully bought in, and I'm excited about it. I really do think it's something that is exceptional, and I look forward to working with other professionals in the industry, in the healthcare industry, that see its value and want to take the journey with me. So, if you stuck with me this long, thanks for watching this again. It's a pretty simplistic video, but just giving those of you who might be searching for PRI just a little bit more background as to myself. And the Postural Restoration Institute. So, of course, I'm available for questions for online sessions if you want to do those, and of course, I'm more than happy to see people in person as well. So, thanks so much, you guys, and I thank you to my clients who have stuck with me for months and sometimes years, who have put up with looking ridiculous in the gym, doing these bizarre exercises in these funky positions, But spending time learning to breathe and kind of being my guinea pigs with some of the stuff that I come across. And to anybody who's a prospective client, just look forward to what we can do for you. So thanks so much, you guys, and take care.